some big ones already. Durant on the roll, and B.J. Cunningham again unable to come out with it. And Durant harassed again by that Bomber front.
Yeah, tough throw for Durant. That was Jackson Jeffcoat with the hit. He had a monster game. He's coming from the bottom of that defensive line. Be just coming in off the left side of your screen. A monster game the last time these two teams met. Had his first sack, first CFL interception in that ball game.
Key second down now for the Alouettes from the 24. Leggett, and a fumble football, and Leggett forced the sack and the fumble, and it looks like he has the football. Came in untouched. And Darian Durant and the beleaguered Alouette offense get it from all sides right here. The Mo Show. And the recovery. And continues tomorrow night. Friday Night Football from Commonwealth Stadium, expecting 40,000 tomorrow night. Saskatchewan in town, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. The NCE with Joe Jonas performing as well. Maurice Leggett, forced fumble recovery.
And you're going to see the look here as the Bombers are going to give a look like they've got 6 guys coming. The 6th guy actually isn't going to come until late, as you're going to see a linebacker show blitz and bail. But what he's done is occupy a blocker, meaning they can't get an extra guy out to Maurice Leggett. He ends up coming free off the edge as a result of that fake. They're always going to honor the inside guys first in terms of the blocking scheme. So they got Montreal occupied with that fake blitz on the inside, which frees up Leggett off the edge for the sack and forced fumble.
Bombers get it back, forcing a second turnover. Andrew Harris churning left side. Donna Ramassion wraps him up and brings him down. Bomber team that scores a lot of points, but also has given up a lot of points. If there's been a question mark even during the streak, it's about defense. And so far tonight, there is no question.
Yeah, they've made big plays when they have needed to make plays. No doubt about that. Tristan Opolugo back in their lineup, which gives them some depth and added pass rush on that D-line.
Nichols floats one, and it was in and out of the hands of Clarence Denmark. So despite that turnover, Alouettes will get the ball back as Justin Medlock comes onto the field.
Yeah, no, fundamentally here, I would have liked to have seen Denmark turn his hands the other way, sort of catch it forward as opposed to that basket style catch. I think he'd have been in a stronger position to make the grab on that one.
Medlock averages on 43 yards a punt. Steph Logan, the stutter step and chased down. He's down nicely, as a matter of fact. And brought down. The Alouettes offense will come out. There is Matty Ice, as cool as they come. Let's go down to John Liu on the sideline.
Well, thank you, Rod. And it's no coincidence that the Bombers' 4-game win streak coincides with Matt Nichols saying that he's feeling like the game is slowing down for him over the last 4 to 5 games, a classic sign of a quarterback being in the zone. And for Nichols, he's seen an evolution of this club since he arrived in 2015, when he said the Bombers' mentality was simply hoping they would win a game, to now where every player on the roster feels like he expects to make plays to make a difference in victories. And we saw it in their 7-game win streak last year, and now they're off to a good start towards possibly winning 5 in a row.
Yeah, they're doing it with offense and defense. Thank you, John. Brandon Rutley. Question right now for the Owls, though, is their offense, as it has been sputtering. This is what Winnipeg has done over this streak.
Yeah, you look at every category improving over the course of the last 4 games. Big stat in the last 2. Having never been behind, really taking control. And this is one of the things that this team will do, Paul LaPolice, with that tempo offense that you may expect to see at any time as they try to wear the Alouettes down here.
Durant floating one over for B.J. Cunningham, who hangs on right at the first down marker. We'll see what kind of spot this is. If they'll move the chains, might be a little bit short. Darian Durant's coming off his worst showing of his 13-year career last week, just 93 yards on 14 attempts, and struggling early on here, but finally finding the mark.
Connecting with Cunningham right around that first down marker. Despite pretty good coverage from Kevin Fogg on the play. Cunningham had over 100 yards when these two teams last met.
So they will move the sticks. Jacques Chapdelaine, there's Anthony Calvillo, who's been upstairs as well, but now on the sideline. Heading into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. September, alongside another guy on the other sideline, the head coach of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Great class of 2017. Rutley, good run blocking here by the Alouettes. Taylor Loeffler, the free safety from UBC, knocked him out of bounds.
And once again, Rutley, the veteran out of San Jose State, gets the start at running back tonight. He's taken all the reps all week with Terrell Sutton suffering a bruised knee. They say Sutton could have played had it been a more critical situation, a playoff game, etc.
Not heard from Nick Lewis yet tonight, but now we do, and he goes hurdling as well. Catch 1,022 near the end of the first quarter, and Nick Lewis now 7 away from tying G. Roy Simon, the all-time receptions list.
Classic Nick. Going airborne for the finish.
Of those 1,022 catches, how many have been hurdles afterwards?
How many hurdles, how many guys he just flat out trucked to set up the hurdle?
There's the blitz again, and Steph Logan comes in on this package. Darian Durant has been seeing a lot of blue so far.
Second and 10.
And that was Tristan Opalaugo who just delivered the hit on Durant on that one. And we saw Darian throw that interception along the sidelines earlier in that ball game, largely the result of the pressure from the Winnipeg defensive line.
Tristan O, the former Argo, former East Division most outstanding rookie back in 2014. Here it is again. They just float out. And what a catch by Brandon Rutley. Little screen there. That was a dangerous toss, though. That teardrop to Rutley. And it looks like he's going to be marked a little bit short of that first down.
This is a classic case of anticipating what the defense is going to give you in a certain situation. Completely prepared for that pressure off the edge. They let men rush free and basically throw that screen right back to the vacated space.
Barring penalty here, should be the final play of this first quarter. Third down. Darian Durant to the sidelines. Drew Willie, former Bomber quarterback, short yardage here. He fights for it and scraps for that first down. So the Montreal Alouettes get shut out here by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but turnovers do the Alouettes in. Clarence Denmark. Touchdown after a Chris Randall pick. The rematch of that comeback game in Winnipeg. Now the Alouettes have to come back in this one. Thursday night football rolls on from Montreal. 10-0 game. Winnipeg Blue Bombers turning turnovers into points in that first quarter, but we've got a lot of ball game left, and as you and we learned a month ago, don't go away until the final gun sounds. Remember, the Alouettes had the lead in the late going and then lost that game. It could be a very special night tonight, or maybe even next week for Nick Lewis.
Yeah, Nick Lewis creeping closer and closer. You know, Nick has been so productive, he doesn't even have to play now to move closer to the record as he did this week as they went back and found a missed catch from 04. He's got the family in town, the women in his life, mom, wife, and daughter, all here to see number 8 do his thing here this evening.
4 catches at halftime last week, ended up with 6. Again, would need 8 catches total tonight. B.J. Cunningham, which is a stretch, especially against a Winnipeg D. But remember, Nick Lewis had 10 catches against Ottawa last September. And there is the family Lewis, and a kiss for his daughter. And mom gives him a good luck high five. Mom's from Texas.
Proof that Nick doesn't scare all children.
Yes. Well, not his own daughter. The man of many nicknames, and now 1,023 catches. One of the most fun guys you can be around as well. I love talking with Nick Lewis prior to games. He's a worldly guy. Just doesn't always talk about football. There's his wife, his mom, and his daughter. Give grandma some popcorn. And they're here to celebrate should he break that record tonight. Certainly will inch closer towards it and then could add some more miles to it. Nick Lewis told me yesterday he'd like to stay on and play next year. 2nd and 2. Fighting again is Brandon Rutley. I asked Nick yesterday, I said, you know, this is obviously a big record, surpassing Superman, G. Roy Simon. He was saying about all the guys that he's played with or against as we take a look at this play. He's played against G. Roy, played against Milt Stegall, played against Ben Cahoon. And through all of these years has been able to now become all-time #1. But he also said the record that he would really like to get is the 1,000-yard record, which is 11, which he could tie this season with Terry Vaughn. Now Drew Willie comes in. It's 3rd and 1. And Drew Willie lunging forward, the former Winnipeg Blue Bomber. A guy who also played against Nick Lewis when he broke into the league as the head coach of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
He's been fun to watch. He really has, and I like his style of play. I like that, you know, although I guess he used to move a little faster, you know, he was a tough football player, and I like that style. And you know, that longevity comes with a lot of hard work. It's not luck. He's put the time in and been very good at what he's been doing for a long time.
First down for B.J. Cunningham. Will Nick Lewis come back in here? Looks like he will. Again, 2 catches tonight. Came in 8 catches away from tying, 9 catches away from becoming the all-time leader. By the way, Mike O'Shea, could you imagine the collisions? Mike O'Shea and Nick Lewis, who is that fullback, almost linebacker in a receiver body, but never was like that when he began.
Always a physical player, though. I think, you know, obviously he's gotten a little bigger as his career has gone on.
Durant's looking his way. Now he has to escape the pocket once more. Now Durant, end zone looking. Samuel Giguère was overthrown. Giguère has yet to make a catch this season, only back for a couple of games, and so the drive will stall here for Darian Durant.
Yeah, it might have had a shot at Lewis early, but the pressure, again, a factor. Quick move around the edge by Jamal Westerman takes Durant off his first read. And then he's just looking broken play to Giguère at the back of the end zone.
Boris Beattie, native of France, former Laval star. Much better percentage than a year ago. Now 17 of 19. This is a shorty. Puts it through. Owls are on the board. Winnipeg leads by 7. All the talk about Nick Lewis. Don't forget about this guy. Number 33, the Winnipeg native. Having an MOP season for the Blue Bombers. It's the GMC professional grade playbook with Hank Henry Burris tonight on getting an edge with trash talk. Now, Hank could talk with the best of them. This guy is certainly one of the best of them, the Angry Bird.
Now, see, as much as trash talk may be a part of it, I love the way that Kai Hebert throws guys off their games just with his nasty play.
You got a good point. And Nichols back at it here with a 7-point lead, and Jonathan Mincy closes in on Andrew Harris. Minimal gain, maybe a half yard. Just back to the line of scrimmage, it looks like.
Here is number 34, the ageless Tyrese Hebert. amongst the leaders of this Montreal Alouette defense. Always a playmaker, noticeable every time he sets foot on the field.
Two-time CFL All-Star, former winner of the Tom Pate Award for his community work. 2nd and 10. Owls look to hold them to a 2-and-out here. And spiraling it over to TJ Thorpe. And Greg Henderson, former Colorado Buffalo, there on the corner to make that stop. Knock it away.
Yeah, Greg Henderson getting back into the lineup this week. He'll play some snaps in passing downs as well as taking some reps at halfback. He's one of the young defensive backs who really came along last season for this team. Started the year out on the injured list.
Alouettes get the job done. Force it 2-and-out. Big kick from Medlock to Logan. For another block and then swarmed near the 37-yard line. Well, if you don't get an interception, and the Owls don't get many of them, get a knockdown. TJ Thorpe. Pilford there, taken away by Greg Henderson on Thursday Night Football on TSN.
Why do you invest? You invest for what's next. A brighter future, a new priority, an active retirement. Whatever your goals are, we can help you invest for what's next. Franklin Templeton Investments.
Good morning, Kevin.
Great morning. Make good mornings great with Tim Hortons' new Canadian back bacon breakfast sandwich. Made with 100% Canadian eggs and served on a freshly baked croissant or English muffin. Love it for a limited time.
Good morning, Diane. Great morning.
We're bringing the colors of the runway to your home with Simon Chang and Canadian-made Beauty Tone Paint, Canada's color experts. Choose from this year's 35 exclusive trend colors and put your vision, your flair, right on your walls. Beauty Tone, Canada's color experts. With our loyalty card program, buy 6 Beauty Tone paints and get 1 free. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations.
Kia has been in Canada for 18 years, but you made us Canadian by showing us the great outdoors and reminding us that beauty can't fit on a postcard. So Kia is bringing you the Our Canada Celebration event, featuring Sorrento, adventurous and fun with Dynamax all-wheel drive and panoramic sunroof. The Forte and Forte 5 road trip ready with Apple CarPlay and heated and cooled seats for any season. So thanks, Canada. You really are the best. Offer ends August 31st. Kia.ca for details.
I know I get some camera time. Let me get it. You got to protect me, Mr. Official. He weighed 300 pounds. Don't make me beat him up. Come on, baby. Good drive, kid.
Hey. And make a play. We got playmakers out here.
Yeah, CFL Wired. Pumped up, mic'd up. Tuesday, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. Looking back at the week that was in the Canadian Football League. Darian Durant to Nick Lewis, his 3rd catch of the night. 1,024 now for the guy who used to be known as Geronimo Jones when he broke into the CFL.
Yeah. Zone defense. Nick just sits it down. Easy completion for Darian Durant as the count continues to rise.
Durant may have to go to Lewis a little more with that pressure on him. Those short slants, short outlets. It's another 1,025. Kind of like basketball when Nick Lewis is out there. You dish it off to your power forward.
And we talked about the evolution of Nick Lewis. Many times we've discussed how he's reinvented himself as a player, not necessarily the same explosiveness that he once had, and has had to rely on his football IQ a little bit more at this stage of his career. But you know, I think also for a guy who's always perceived as very brash as a young guy, has become a great mentor and teacher to a lot of young guys in this league.
Penalty flag down. He's doing a lot of work as well away from the game right now with concussion awareness and brain studies as well. And Down the road,
Montreal, number 65. It's a 10-yard penalty. Remains second down.
If not in this league, somewhere will be a coach.
Yeah, and a lot of young football players are going to benefit from it, as many young guys, particularly receivers, have already here in the CFL.
Second penalty of this game, now 2nd and 11, and Nick Lewis, of his catches this season, now 47, 12 have been on second down. He's been that security blanket, that clutch player on second down. Durant will audible here and change this play up. Lewis in motion. He's in the flat. And way over his head. Not this time, Nick. Kick team will return to the field.
Yeah, Lewis on this one just had a free release out to that flat. He's just there as an outlet. You can just see him in the bottom left corner of your screen, hanging out there away from coverage.
Kevin Fogg. Dangerous returner is back. Boris Beattie. Shortish kick. Fogg. Drayton near the 27-yard line. DJ Lalamos down there quickly. 10-3 ball.
There you see the Bomber coordinators on the left. Paul LaPolice on the right, defensive coordinator Richie Hall. But, you know, Lapo has done a tremendous job with this Winnipeg offense. As you see, they're ranked in various offensive categories so far this season.
Bombers starting point this time. Number 28. Getting a running start in the backfield was Timothy Flanders. Or Sam Houston State Bearcat. Playing time last year with the Blue Bombers, and when he was in, contributed.
I think the balance that Tim Flanders provides in that backfield to prevent teams from being able to completely key on Andrew Harris, or from a Winnipeg point of view, enabling the Bombers to use Andrew Harris as a decoy when teams do key on him, very valuable.
Nichols, catch made, first of the night. Darvin Adams in front of Brandon Stewart, the former Blue Bomber DB. Chain gang gets to work here. First down, Winnipeg.